Chosen one, pause right where you are. This is no random post. This is a sacred interruption, a heaven-orchestrated moment breaking into your feed. You've been crying out for a sign, begging for clarity, pleading for confirmation, and right now the throne room is responding directly to you. There's a word that just cracked the atmosphere open, and it's branded with your name. Deep in your spirit, God has been speaking in whispers for months, maybe years. But in this exact second, He's turning the volume all the way up. Hear Him clearly. You were never the problem. They were. I'm shifting the burden off your shoulders and placing it squarely on them. You heard me correctly. You've lost sleep replaying conversations, questioning every decision, asking yourself if you misread my voice, if you stepped out of season, if you somehow sabotaged the future I promised you. You've beaten yourself up thinking, maybe I was too intense. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I imagined the unease I felt in my spirit. But the whole time, the courts of heaven were in session, watching, documenting, preparing this very moment when the righteous judge rises to defend you. The God who sees everything done in secret is now declaring it openly. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 has expired. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Those plans didn't evaporate when people mishandled you. Your confusion didn't disqualify you. The delays didn't delete what I wrote over your life before you took your first breath. What felt like punishment was divine protection and holy preparation. Every ignored text, every door that slammed in your face, every group that slowly edged you out, every lonely night you wondered if God had walked away. None of it meant abandonment. It meant elevation. He was isolating you for acceleration, separating you for something sacred. Romans 8 verse 28 is still in full effect. All things, yes, even betrayal, the gossip, the false narratives, the seasons you wanted to scream, God, do you even see this? Are being woven together for your good. Heaven's silence wasn't absence. It was cultivation. In that quiet place, your roots went deeper, your discernment got sharper, your grip on God grew tighter than your grip on people ever was. But today the silence shatters. Today the gavel falls in your favor. You weren't crazy. You weren't dramatic. You were prophetic. You saw what they refused to see. You felt what they refused to feel. You carried a mantle they were never anointed to carry. And now your Father is saying, well done. I've trained you in the dark. I've tested you in the fire. I've covered you in the storm. The waiting is over. I'm turning the page, and the next chapter opens with your name written in bold, permanent ink. Isaiah 40 verse 31 declares that those who wait on the Lord's hall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. And you, beloved, are standing on the very runway where that promise is about to ignite beneath your feet. This is not a casual scroll, not a coincidence, not content to fill empty minutes. This is a divine ambush. Your spirit didn't stumble here by accident. It was summoned. Something ancient inside your chest is already stirring, stretching, recognizing its own voice in these words. This message isn't simply for you. In the spirit, this message is you coming back to life. Before another second passes, I need you to seal this encounter on purpose. Agreements in the unseen realm carry weight. When you say yes to what heaven is releasing right now, realms shift. So even as you read this, consciously agree. If these words are piercing your heart, do not scroll past unchanged. Take one deliberate prophetic act. Like this post as your audible I receive in the courts of heaven. Subscribe as your declaration that you are stepping fully into the company God is gathering around your destiny. Then drop the number 99 in the comments. Not as ritual, not as luck, but as prophetic remembrance that the good shepherd leaves the 99 to chase the one. You felt like that one, wandering, wounded, wondering if anyone was still looking for you. But the Father never lost sight of you for a single moment. Luke 15 has been playing out over your life, even when you couldn't feel the rescue coming. You are the one He crossed mountains to find. Now brace yourself, because from this line forward, everything familiar is about to quake. When Holy Spirit truth begins stripping away the anesthesia you've been living under, your soul will flinch. You might feel restless, exposed, even a little angry. Good. That resistance is proof you're encountering the real thing. Truth never leaves anything the way it found it. Hebrews 4 verse 12 is alive and active right now. The word is a double-edged sword slicing between bone and marrow, dividing soul and spirit, exposing every lie that kept you small. If you stay with this word until the last syllable, something structural inside you will permanently recalibrate. Your perception of your calling, your grasp on your purpose, the intimacy of your walk with God Himself. Not because a voice on a screen is special, but because the Spirit of the living God is breathing resurrection wind through these sentences, calling awake what He hid in you before you drew your first breath. You have been camped in the waiting room long enough of life, watching doors swing open for everyone else while yours stayed stubbornly shut. You stared at the calendar and whispered, "Lord, did I miss the moment? Did I mishear you? Did I mess this up beyond repair?" But right now God is thundering back. No, you were right to obey when it cost you. You were right to walk away when staying would have killed your spirit. You were right to stand alone when the crowd called you stubborn. You were right to refuse compromise when they called it wisdom. You were right to guard your peace like a fortress. You were right to keep believing for the impossible when evidence screamed give up. Philippians 1 verse 6 is no longer a fridge magnet verse. It is a live wire in your life. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. That completion is no longer future tense. It is breaking into your present. Every tear you cried in secret was bottled. Every 3 a.m. prayer that felt like it hit the ceiling actually moved mountains. Heaven has a perfect record of every time you chose worship over worry. Every time you opened your Bible when Netflix would have been easier. Every time you drag your exhausted soul through another day of warfare with nothing but nevertheless in your mouth. You never quit. You flirted with surrender, but you never signed the papers. That stubborn refusal to bow is the very reason promotion is being stamped on your file right now. You passed exams you didn't even know were on the syllabus. Now the Father is looking you in the eyes and saying, "I trust you with more." This isn't a participation trophy. This is a commissioning straight from the throne. The same voice that spoke to Jeremiah. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you," is now speaking over you. "I am sending you." You are transitioning from waiting room to war room, from chosen to deployed, from preparation to occupation. There is a sacred moment in every destiny story when the training wheels come off, and you are standing squarely in that moment. For years, God held your hand, sent signs in neon, surrounded you with voices that echoed His voice. Lately, it's been quieter, heavier, almost severe, and fear whispered, "You must have grieved Him." But heaven is roaring back. "No, beloved, I was teaching you to walk by faith when you can no longer trace my hand. I was upgrading you from needing constant reassurance to carrying kingdom authority. You are not being demoted by the silence. You are being entrusted with the weight. When God says, "It's on you now," He is not walking away. He is crowning you. He is sliding the master key ring onto your finger. Matthew 16 verse 19 is no longer theory. "I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loose in heaven." Keys are not for spectators who only knock and beg. Keys are for sons and daughters mature enough to unlock what hell has bolted shut. Picture it. You are standing at the threshold of everything God spoke over you in the secret place, and Jesus Himself is placing a massive, ancient ring of iron keys into your trembling hand. At first, the weight makes your knees buckle. You think, "Who am I to hold these? But the second the question leaves your heart, Holy Spirit begins to rewind the film of your life in high definition. Suddenly you see it. Every heartbreak was a bench press for your spirit. Every misunderstanding carved deeper capacity for compassion. Every lonely night when you worship with tears streaming was forging steel in your backbone. Every battle you fought on your knees in the dark, with no audience but heaven, was building muscle no gym could ever give you. You are not the same fragile soul you were a year ago, 5 years ago, a decade ago. You have been upgraded in the fire. You have learned to recognize the whisper of God in a whisper-thin moment. You have graduated from needing fireworks to hearing Him in the gentle breeze. 2 Corinthians 4 verses 8 to 9 is no longer a verse you quote. It is a scar tissue over your life. pressed on every side but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but never abandoned, struck down but never destroyed. Lesser storms made others fold. You stood in the furnace and refused to curse the flames. You wrestled with God in prayer like Jacob at Peniel. Limping, yes, but still holding on until blessing came. Heaven kept meticulous records of every midnight you chose, yet I will trust him instead of I'm done. And now the Father leans in close and says, I can no longer handle you with beginner gloves. I am handing you builder gloves. You are moving from survivor to strategist, from casualty to carrier, from the one who needed rescuing to the one I sent on rescue through. This is a hinge the entire story swings on. Responsibility is being laid on your shoulders like a royal mantle. Authority is not noisy or flashy. It is quiet, settled, unshakable. It is the deep inner knowing that when you decree a thing, heaven stamps approved. When you step forward, legions step with you. Psalm 23 verse 4 has moved from poster on the wall to pulse in your veins. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. You have already proven that verse true in the darkest valleys. Now God is saying, take the light you found there and carry into rooms that have never seen dawn. You are not called to shrink back in this hour. You are called to rise to full stature, to walk into spaces already carrying a verdict before you open your mouth, to make decisions that will echo into generations. The weight may feel immense at first, but the grace assigned to the season is heavier still. Look at you now. There were days your faith was a fraying thread, your hope a flickering candle in a hurricane. There were moments you stared at an endless corridor of closed doors and wondered if one would ever open again. Yet here you are, battle-scarred, wisdom-crowned, still standing, keys in hand, fire in your eyes, heart still burning, hands still lifted even when they trembled. That alone is living proof that the hand of an unseen God has been the glue holding every broken piece in place. Isaiah 43 verse 2 has not been a suggestion over your life. It has been a verdict. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. And if we're keeping it real, there were infernos that should have turned you to ash, betrayal that scorched, grief that blistered, attacks that came to kill. Yet here you stand, refined, not ruined. Your waiting season was never idle. It was a war room, a pruning chamber, a masterclass in carrying glory you weren't mature enough to hold 5 years ago. Right now, God is not merely shifting your situation. He is reinforcing your soul from the way steel is folded 1,000 times. He is stabilizing your emotions, rewiring your thought patterns, recalibrating your responses. Triggers that once sent you spiraling will soon barely register. As you step into this next assignment, He is dressing you in armor that no human resilience could manufacture. Ephesians 6 is no longer a passage you underline. It is becoming your skin, belt of truth locked, breastplate fastened, shield raised, sword unsheathed. You will walk into chaos and feel an unnatural calm settle over you. Old wounds will stop bleeding when poked. Attacks will still come, but they will hit a reinforced spirit and bounce off like rain on titanium, because Psalm 91 verse 11 is being upgraded from promise to lifestyle. He will command His angels concerning you guard you in all your ways. You will have days when you cannot explain it, but you will know something lethal just tried to land and was intercepted before it touched you. That same covering is stretching over your health, your strength, your finances. Some of you have been battling exhaustion, mysterious symptoms, fear that your body won't be able to sustain the weight of the calling. Hear the Father's heart in 3 John 1 verse 2. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. He is aligning flesh with assignment, renewing energy where fatigue ruled, bringing clarity where brain fog camped, releasing stamina you thought was gone forever. At the same time, He is shattering the spirit of scarcity that has kept you in survival mode. You've been rationing pennies, stretching crumbs, wondering if lack would be your permanent story. The Lord is stepping into that narrative with Deuteronomy 28 verse 12 authority. The Lord will open to you His good treasure to bless all the work of your hand. You are crossing the threshold where provision becomes tangible, not theoretical. This is not about greed. This is about resourcing the vision. God is funding what He fathered. Ideas that pay, partnerships that prosper, doors that swing wide without you knocking. Suddenly opportunities will stop trickling and start flooding, because the dream inside you is moving from seed to harvest, and heaven always finances what it authors. Till begin converging on your obedience like iron filings to a magnet. You will discover that when purpose becomes your first pursuit, provision stops hiding. You will not have to hunt it down. It will find you at the exact coordinates of your surrendered yes. You are stepping onto holy ground. This is a final lap before everything changes in the natural. Every trial you survived was not a random assault. It was dress rehearsal for the platform you are about to occupy. Galatians 6 verse 9 is no longer a gentle encouragement on a coffee mug. It is a prophetic timer going off in the spirit. Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Your due season has been circled on heaven's calendar, and the page is turning now. While the world staggers, economies trembling, systems cracking, fear spreading like wildfire, you will stand strangely steady, not because you are flawless, but because your foundation is no longer sand. You learn the brutal way that friends can ghost, titles can vanish, bank account can flatline, but the rock never shifts. You are the wise builder Jesus described in Matthew 7. The storm slammed, the floods rose, the house groaned, but it did not fall. In an era of collapse, your unshakable posture will become a living billboard that God still steadies his own. Isaiah 61 verse 1 is leaping off the page and wrapping itself around you. Arise, shine, for your light has come. This is not the harsh glare of self-promotion. It is a warm glow of sustained intimacy with Jesus that others will feel before you say a word. Your narrative is flipping from barely surviving to strategically rising. And this rise is not confined to your zip code. You were forged in obscurity so that when visibility comes, pride will have no crack to slip through. Proverbs 18 verse 16 is activating. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Your gift is no longer knocking politely. It is kicking doors off hinges. God is repositioning you from hidden corners to broader horizons, from conversations in living rooms to influence that crosses borders. Not every assignment ends in celebrity, but every assignment ends in reach. Your voice, your message, your testimony are about to touch lives in cities you've never visited and nations you've never seen. Right now, unseen realms are in motion. Angels assigned to you are clearing debris from your path. Hearts you don't even know exist are being softened toward you. Connections you could never manufacture are being knitted in the spirit. Psalm 91 verse 11 is not poetry. It is logistics. Heaven's special forces are orchestrating divine introductions. Some people carrying keys you need, and you holding keys they have prayed for, are being drawn into the same orbit. Some will appear as sudden answers to decade-old prayers. Others will seem ordinary until months later you realize their entrance rewrote your entire story. Meanwhile, in the courts of heaven, your name is being spoken with honorably. Your faith has been entered into evidence. Your refusal to quit has been celebrated by beings who never sleep. Psalm 75 verses 6 to 7 is the gavel falling. Promotion comes neither from the east nor the west nor from the south. But God is a judge. He puts down one and exalts another. The verdict is in, and the season of exaltation has your name on it. History is dotted with moments when heaven's floodgates creak open and decades of stored up blessing rush out at once. You are walking straight into one of those rare openings. Malachi 3 verse 10 is shifting from promise to performance. See if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out such blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. And that scripture is stepping off the page and wrapping itself around your life like a mantle. Every season of lack, every year you stretched to breaking, every month you stared at empty hands wondering how the bills would get paid, none of it escaped heaven's notice. While you were praying through tears, God was banking every seed. While you were praising on empty, he was stacking interest in realms you couldn't access. Now those spiritual accounts are maturing all at once. Sudden, accelerated answers are being released with your name engraved on them. Opportunities you never pursued will hunt you down. Doors that once slammed will swing open without you lifting a finger. Contacts you never imagined will slide into your messages like they've always known you. This is not coincidence. This is divine recompense. God isn't rewarding your perfection. He is crowning your refusal to quit. Amos 9 verse 13 is no longer future hope. It is your present address. The plowman overtaking the reaper, the harvester tripping over fresh grapes because the blessing is coming faster than you can gather it. The delay between seed and harvest, prayer and proof, is collapsing. What took decades will now unfold in months, then weeks, then days. Revelation 3 verse 8 is alive in your timeline. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. There are doors swinging wide right now that no critic, no hater, no former gatekeeper can bolt closed. The same voices that mocked, dismissed, or whispered they'll never make it will have front row seats to the movie God is directing with your life. This isn't to shame them. It is to showcase him. Your comeback is a living sermon that the last shall be first and the humble shall be exalted. Matthew 5 verse 14 is burning brighter over you every day. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. You spent years dimming yourself to keep others comfortable, but that assignment has expired. The world is starving for the undiluted version of what God forged in you. Heaven is turning up the wattage, not for your ego, but for his glory. Platforms will begin pursuing you instead of you begging for a seat. Rooms you thought were locked will open with your name already on the guest list. Your reputation will walk ahead of you, and favor will be the fragrance that announces your arrival. Some of you have carried secret terror about abundance, visibility, promotion, old church wounds whispering that getting too big is dangerous, that pride is waiting at the next level. God is healing that fear at the root. He is proving that when he is the one lifting you, the height is holy. You can stand tall without getting swollen because your knees are still bent. He is teaching you that true authority doesn't strut, it serves. The higher he takes you, the lower you will bow. And that posture is what keeps the world as desperate to see it who placed you there. Ephesians 3 verse 20 is no longer a bookmark verse. It is the atmosphere you are about to breathe. God doing exceedingly, abundantly above anything you have ever dared to ask or even imagine. You are not walking toward overflow. You are stepping into the middle of it. Right now, in the invisible realm, miracles already have your name stamped on them in golden ink. Habakkuk 2 verse 3 is thundering over your timeline. The vision was for an appointed time, and that appointment has arrived. The delay is over. The first small signs already sprouting. Random refunds, unexpected messages, ideas that suddenly click, peace that shows up uninvited. Do not brush them off as coincidence. They are the opening drizzle of a monsoon that is already gathering overhead. Financial pressure is loosening its grip. Resources you stopped praying about years ago are circling back. Concepts that sat dormant are catching wind. Relationships that drained you are fading, while kingdom alliances that fuel you are locking into place. Scraping by is being evicted. Strategic overflow is moving in. God is not only giving you resource, he is teaching you to govern it. Your hands are becoming conduits, not containers. You will feed families, launch dreams, build ministries, send missionaries, and turn your ceiling into someone else's floor. The pain you endure was never wasted. It carved rivers of compassion, so that when your cup runs over, it will water entire communities. Your voice, once pushed to the edges, is being pulled to the table. The world is desperate for the authenticity you carry, your scars, your stories, your hard-won revelation. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 is now your operating system. No spirit of fear, only power, love, and a sound mind. Speak from that place. Post from that place. Led from that place. You are not auditioning anymore. You are answering the call. Doors that rejected you are unlocking without you touching the handle. Some will fly open so wide you will stand there stunned, remembering when you cried outside them. Isaiah 43 verse 19 is no longer a promise you quote. It is the ground shaking under your feet. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? What fought you yesterday will fund you tomorrow. Old failures will become footnotes in a testimony that silences doubters. Stop knocking. Start walking. The Red Sea in front of you has already received orders to part. Every step you take now is amplified, not to intimidate you, but to remind you who you have become. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are a co-architect of what is coming. So hear this, chosen one. The waiting room is closed. The shrinking is over. The apologizing for your anointing ends today. God is with you. Angels have orders concerning you. The atmosphere itself is rearranging for you. You have been chosen, broken, rebuilt, refined, and now released. Your rise is not coming. It is here. Walk with your shoulders back and your heart anchored. Step into rooms carrying solutions. Speak and watch heaven echo. Create and watch dead things come alive. The world has been waiting for the real you, and heaven is roaring your name. It is all on you now, not as pressure, but as proof of how fiercely God believes in what he planted inside you. So rise, step forward, take the land that has always carried your name. If this word just set your spirit on fire, if it reached into the hidden places and called you out, type in the comments, I am seen by heaven, and I will walk in purpose. Let that be your yes that seals this moment forever. And subscribe, because the next word is already on its way, custom made for you. Until then, chosen one, walk boldly, walk covered, walk unstoppable. The King is with you, and your time is now.